it'll be amazing. Stewie's the ultimate winner and the ultimate competitor. So to play against her at this stage, it's just going against greatness, and it makes you better. So it'll challenge us in a different way, just to play against that experience. And obviously, she's one of the best players in the world. So to play against her in this atmosphere in Brooklyn in the Unrivaled semifinals, it'll be a lot of fun.
Terrika, it's almost like Paige Beckers was foreshadowing what was going to happen in that game, right? I mean, what an amazing night last night in Brooklyn. Thank you so much for joining me today, Terrika Foster-Brasby. We were out late last night at Unrivaled because they brought the Unrivaled semifinals to Brooklyn at Barclays Center. And there were 2 games played last night. We're going to get into the one that was played second, which was Breeze BC, and that was Paige Beckers. She is a part of Breeze, and they took on Miss BC, which is Breanna Stewart's team. And obviously it was some UConn versus UConn going on there, 2 UConn legends. And then also, obviously, Barclays is home to the New York Liberty, the team that Breanna Stewart plays for. So a lot of anticipation going into that game. And so I had asked Paige about, what is it going to be like going up against Stewie, but on a bigger stage, because obviously now that she's in the WNBA, they've played against one another. And so that's what she had to say about Stewie. And it almost looked like it. It almost looked like Breeze was going to pull it off, Terrika. And Breanna Stewart, she went into another mode. Arike, she hit a game-winning shot for her birthday. And they were down. They had to get to a target score of 73 in the 4th quarter. They had 67 points. They finished the game with only 69 points. And Miss came and won the game. And at that point, when they had 67, Miss only had 60 points, Terrika. I mean, it was just an incredible, incredible comeback from Miss.
Yeah, this is definitely what I would consider to be a statement win. Just really showed the resiliency and how this Miss team doesn't panic. I mean, a 73-69 comeback, it has to be at the top of the list of one of the best games that we've seen this Unrivaled season, which, like you've mentioned, this Breeze team was in control for a majority of the game. They opened the game on a 13-0 run, and Rickea Jackson was phenomenal in that opening stretch. She had 9 points early. So from the very beginning, the Miss found themselves down 26-10, and you and I, we were sitting next to each other, and we were like, hey, listen, we are not convinced that this is how things are actually going to pan out. Like, we feel like there's some fight in this Miss team. And sure enough, there was. Now, interestingly enough, Breanna Stewart and Paige Beckers never actually had a chance to play against each other physically this year, because every time the New York Liberty played the Dallas Wings, Stewie was out. So this was really the first time that they had got to battle against each other, even though their teams had seen each other. And Stewie kind of talked a little bit about that post game where, she said Paige Beckers is amazing, and she's been, waiting for an opportunity to really get on the court with her, because she's seen her growth and she has loved how she has grown in this league. And Paige really was phenomenal. She had 14 points. Dominique Malonga also had a great showing for the Breeze. And you and I talked about it at the beginning of the season, Natalie. We said the Breeze could mess around. People are teasing them about their youth, but they could mess around and be a team that could be fighting for it. Now, I don't know if I saw them being in the semifinals, but I definitely didn't suspect that they would be a slouch. And adding Courtney Williams midway through the season, I feel like this team came into their own, and last night really validated what a lot of people who have been paying attention said this team could really be.
Yeah, there was only one lead change last night. That's how long they led for. Only one lead change. Yeah. So they let by the 4th quarter, when they got to the 67, I actually thought, okay, they're gonna pull this off. So it was really actually shocking that they didn't. But shout out to Miss for never giving up. And you would expect that with a team with Breanna Stewart, with a team that has the season best that they do. I mean, can we just talk about Alana Smith really quickly and how big she was, hitting so many clutch threes. Well, she hit the clutch 3 at the end, but also just hitting threes throughout the game to sort of keep them in the game while they were struggling to shoot early. And then you could feel the momentum shifting. Yeah. And I was like, man, don't let Arike get hot. Don't let her get hot.
And did. You know, it's funny. I asked Arike in the post game, how does it feel to, like, you've hit so many different game winners over the course of your career, but to do this on your birthday, like, that's got to feel special. And, you know, she said to us, I woke up this morning and I thought about 29 different reasons why things are amazing, like why I'm blessed. And playing basketball is one of them. And this is why you are blessed with the gift of basketball skills, sis, because you do the things that other people find to be impossible. I sat front court and watched her do that twice in 2018 to win a national championship. So to see her just keep doing it, keep winning, and you know, 100 racks, that's not bad either. You put that on the line, that's not bad either. But Arike, she's just, the moment that she finds her spot, it's so difficult to stop her. I believe I will stand 10 toes down that between Arike Ogunbowale and Kelsey Mitchell, there are not two people in the league playing basketball that have a quicker and more lethal release of the basketball than them two. When Arike let that thing go, it was pretty much a wrap. It was nothing you could do about it.
Well, the second time too, right? They messed around and let them get the rebound, and then when she got it that second time, she was not going to miss 2 times in a row. On her birthday. I mean, that's the stuff legends are made of, right? So, you know, Breanna Stewart said after the game, it felt like it was her birthday present to us, right? And
right,
so,
yes.
But look, Stewie was not a slouch either. First of all, she was a two-way force last night. I loved watching the battle between her and Cameron Brink with the blocks on each end, but Stewie got the blocks at the right time when it mattered. And, you know, I did think, like, near the end of the game, Breeze played a little, I don't know if timid is the right word, but maybe like not to lose instead of, like, you know, I thought some of their possessions were not like the best and they had some turnovers, and it just, they played a really good game up until those closing minutes when it mattered most. And so, you know, Miss walked away with the win, and it's crazy because they did not make the playoffs last year. They had a lot of injuries, a lot of stuff going on with their team. And they're going to be taking on the other team that did not make the playoffs last year in Phantom BC. Isn't that crazy? The 2 teams that did not make the playoffs last year are going to meet in the Unrivaled championship this year. So we got to talk about Phantom because
we do.
I mean, come on. You know, 6 game winners for Kelsey Plum. That's the most for Unrivaled. Like, her and, you know, Kelsey and game winners just go together, right? Like,
They do.
I mean, she's just so good. She's so good. And it was just like, you just knew it was going in. You knew it was going in. It was a close game, vinyl battled, but at the end of the day, Phantom, they won that game. And, you know, it was obviously Kelsey Plum led the way again, 31 points. I mean, her stats just jump off. Yeah, like, I mean, look at this, 4 of 8 from 3, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, stuffing the stat sheet as always. And Terrika, they did this with Aaliyah Boston not being there, the defensive player of the year, 2nd team all Unrivaled. She had a case to be MVP. And they're missing that level of production, and they still managed to pull off the win. Kelsey Plum led the way, and obviously they got help from Tiffany, you know, and just other players contributing to the game.
Yeah, you know, if I just said that the Miss team in their game was about resilience, I think the Phantoms game was about survival, because you cannot be the team that has led the way. You have the top seed. You had a first round bye, you know, straight into the semifinals. You were 11-3. Like, you cannot let a vinyl team that came in as a 6 seed that barely made it, you cannot let that be the team to beat you. So this was definitely all about survival for them. And you hit the nail on the head about Kelsey Plum. She is how they continue to survive. This is not just a trend. She is clutch. It is what she do. She just did this same thing in the finale in the season finale on Friday. Like, it is literally why Kelsey Plum has been this entire season one of the top players in Unrivaled. I mean, between her, Tiffany Hayes. And then again, remember, this was literally a vinyl team that had already upset the Laces in the first round. So this was a team that literally had been continually on a mission to be the upset dogs throughout the entirety of this playoffs. And here they are on the brink of doing it again. But, you know, Coach Witherspoon does that. She says that. She talks about the dogs that she has on her team. She talks about the people that she has behind her. And when you think about putting a Kelsey Plum out there, Kiki, Area Finn, right, did a great job of stepping in the place of Aaliyah Boston starting that game. She had 17 points and 11 boards. It's just, it really just goes to show you that, you know, in 3-on-3, when they say next man up, I think it matters more than anything. You truly do have to be the next man up. But when you're led by Kelsey Plum, that doesn't really seem to be that hard to do.
Yes, and they have another dog in Natasha Cloud who was,
Yep.
you know, she tried to tell me that there was no home court advantage for her being in New York, but come on, Tosh.
We know, Tosh, stop it.
But, I mean, she was great, too. I mean, they just, you know, she brought her intensity like she always does. The crowd loved it. And, yeah, now they're going to take on, you know, Mist for the crown, for that 100K, and to try to get the bag. And, look, Brooklyn was filled to capacity last night. It was a sellout crowd. So Unrivaled went on the road to Philly and had a sellout, and then they came to Brooklyn and had a sellout. And the stars were out too, you know?
Yes.
So sellout crowd and the stars came out. 18,261 in attendance, Terrika.
Yes.
I mean,
it was incredible. I mean, we saw Issa Rae in the building. Carmelo Anthony was in the building. I mean, everyone. Fee came. It was so many people that were there. Wanda Sykes. It was a good feeling to see that they continue to bring out the best. And literally, Hillary Knight was there. I mean, come on. She just let us know that she's out here facing an MCL tear and winning gold medals. And oh, by the way, let me just pop up at an Unrivaled game. Like, I love the fact that there are so many people who are gravitating to this league, who are gravitating to everything that women's basketball is offering, and the hunger is there. With the CBA stuff going on for the WNBA, people think that, you know, this might be one of the few opportunities they'll get here for the next few months to catch some women's basketball. And then, of course, we know how Brooklyn gets down anyway. The Barclays Center is no stranger to having stars pull up and pop out to view any game there. So I loved it. I love that this tour was unexpected. One thing that was interesting, though, that Stewie said post-game was they had actually had a conversation on whether or not they were going to play the championship game in Brooklyn. And I think a lot of us would have thought, like, wow, that would have been incredible to be able to play that game in Brooklyn, like to see how everybody's going to turn up and see what the numbers would be like for a game of this magnitude. Like, that seemed to be incredible. But what I love that Stewie said was, hey, listen, as great as that would have been, we want to win championships in the place that we built, in our building, in front of the fans that we have built, basically homegrown in Miami. That's where the banner is going to be raised. That's where Rose won their championship. So that's what she wanted to do. And I loved and respected that. To me, it shows that as great as these tours have been and as much as money as they have made from it, they haven't lost the fact that they were looking to build something, and they've done that. And they want to make sure that no matter where they are, they still maintain that relationship with the art, with the place, and with the fans that they have naturally built from the ground up in Miami. So I love that. Yeah,
well, okay. Well, before we go, I just want to talk about predictions. Now, we made some preseason predictions. Yours is still going strong, so I assume you're sticking with Miss BC to win it all. That was your initial prediction?
Yes.
Okay.
I am still going to roll with Misty.
Okay. Well, being that I picked the Laces to win it all and they got knocked out, I'm going to just roll with Phantom since you're rolling with the Miss. So we'll see, but good luck to both teams. It's going to be great. Terrika, thank you so much for joining me today on the WNBA on NBC. Guys, make sure you tune in and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you do not miss out.